What's up, guys? It's Emily. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial for you guys in honor of PCOS Awareness Month for September. I'm honoring it for myself, and I thought I could do a little Q&A and a makeup tutorial about PCOS and dedicate this video to PCOS Awareness Month. I hope you guys enjoy this makeup look. I'm obviously gonna do what represents PCOS, which is our color for PCOS awareness is teal. So I'm going to be answering a few questions that I wrote down that I want to actually talk about and things like that. So I'm going to give you guys a Q&A and a makeup tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope whoever is struggling with PCOS comes across this video and finds some inspiration towards it. And I hope this video somewhat helps and brings awareness to our condition. And yeah, so without further ado, leave a like, a comment, and let me know down below what you guys think of this makeup tutorial. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, to get this started, what is PCOS? Now, I'm gonna prep my face while explaining what PCOS is. So basically what PCOS is a hormonal condition which basically throws off either your female hormones. It could cause excessive male hormones. It could cause infertility. It could cause a lot of issues. It's basically like a all-around hormonal disorder with the endocrine. Hold on, guys. Where's my beauty blender? Oh, here it is. So it basically can cause a lot of issues, not just hormonal, but it could cause other issues like thyroid. It could cause other issues like bipolar disorder. It could cause sleep issues. It could cause so much. Like this condition could cause so many issues. And honestly, PCOS is something that I've advocated for myself and learned. And honestly, I've learned a lot since being diagnosed. Now, if you guys are wondering the next question, when was I diagnosed with PCOS? I was diagnosed in 2018 when I was 18 years old. And honestly, that was the scariest day of my life, only because people look at it, oh my God, it's not that serious. But when you go to the doctor, first of all, I went to the OBGYN for the first time. And honestly, when I had to go back to New York because at the time I had my parents' insurance. I still do. And they told me I had to come back to New York. So I thought worst case scenario, they wouldn't tell me over the phone what it was. So I got very nervous, and that was the first time I went to the OBGYN, and just to have to go back within a month scared the crap out of me. So yes, I was 18 when I got diagnosed. And was it scary? Absolutely. Was it something I came to terms with? Absolutely. I learned a lot since being diagnosed. I learned a lot, that I thought I wouldn't know much about. Let me just say, when you do get diagnosed, some people get misdiagnosed, some people have trouble getting diagnosed because everybody's body's different. Some show sooner, some shows later. So when I got diagnosed, it was a very nerve-wracking thing for me, honestly. So I didn't know how to wrap my head around it, honestly, as an 18-year-old getting diagnosed with something like that. It just took me by surprise. And 2 years prior, I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And, as I was learning about PCOS, I came to terms with that they were connected to each other. And everything kind of just made sense with a lot of what I found out what PCOS was like. And a lot of what I have going on now with my PCOS kind of all connects to each other. So I'm gonna move on to the next question. What was your biggest struggle when you got diagnosed with PCOS? I think my biggest struggle when I got diagnosed with PCOS, honestly, like, the amount of doctor's appointments I had to go to. I had to get a lot of, like, tests done, blood work. Like, I'm still getting blood work and tests done and things like that. And I think that part took a big mental toll on me because there was a lot of things that came about when I got diagnosed. When I got first diagnosed, I just thought, okay, so basically when I got diagnosed, I lost my period for 7 months. And if you guys are uncomfortable that I'm talking about this, you guys could click out, but I had lost my period for 7 months. And it honestly low-key scared me because, you know, that was a significant time. And obviously I couldn't just go to New York and just go to the OBGYN. At the time I had no PA insurance, things like that. So things just got hard. And then, you know, they ran a lot of blood work for different tests. I had to take a diabetes test because diabetes can be associated with it. I had to take a lot of hormonal tests. I had to take fertility tests. I had to take thyroid tests. I had to take cholesterol. I had to do so many blood tests, and I also had to take a 24-hour urine test, which was really scary. And thankfully I did not get diagnosed with diabetes, but I did have high cholesterol issues, and also thyroid issues. And then as time passed, I had this other test done, which has to do with prolactin. And basically with that, they wanted to check my pituitary gland, which is in the brain. And basically what that checks for is another issue with PCOS, honestly. And basically my levels were high, so I had to go for a brain MRI, which was really scary. So I feel like there was a lot of big struggles when it came to it. I feel like the biggest struggle was maintaining my period, like making sure everything was normal, maintaining my doctor's appointments, maintaining my mental health and my emotional health and my physical health. There was a lot of things that came with this, and I had to take it on in full force. I think the biggest struggle, honestly though, is when I was 18, I had actually done my own research to find out that PCOS does cause infertility issues, which was something that was like really hard for me because that was something I always wanted to be, not obviously at 18, but I always wanted to be a mom. And I'm not saying PCOS, there's no way to be a mom, but it just gives you it's a little more struggle. And up until recently, I did get, I do have struggle with infertility. And that's something that I've been coping with alone. And obviously my family supports me, and thankfully I have my family and my boyfriend. He's very supportive. I'm glad I have a great support system because honestly, like with stuff like that, that's something a woman never wants to hear. But that was the biggest struggle with me, was like handling everything on my own and then trying to maintain my physical, mental, and emotional health, and on top of that finding out more and more stuff about what came with it. And like it was just always something. So now we're gonna move on to the eyes, and I'm gonna continue talking about PCOS. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this question and then I'm gonna start my eyes and then we'll go back to questions. What were bad side effects you had? So I could say the bad side effects I had were a lot. I feel like in the beginning I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism, which had a lot to do with my weight gain. But then also my PCOS had a lot to do with it too. So my weight gain, my irregular periods, my facial hair. that is something that I struggle with a lot. Hair loss, feeling tired all day. What else? Mood swings. Holy cow, mood swings. Yes, mood swings were really bad for me. What else? And I guess my sex drive, I have moments where it's like super low. And then I have moments where I like feel like I feel really bad in my own body sometimes. Like I feel like a lot of what happens with my PCOS is like I'm always worrying when it comes to this condition, because there's always something like that I'm always hearing about and finding out when I got diagnosed and things like that. And they're always running tests on me, just to make sure everything's leveled out correctly, things like that. So I feel like I struggle a lot with like my body image and things like that, because I feel like PCOS really put a damper on my weight and like my mental health. So I feel like that was another side effect, was my mental health. All right, we're gonna start on these eyes and then we'll go back to the questions, but I want to start on these eyes and represent PCOS. So I'm gonna use two different palettes. I'm gonna use the James Charles palette, which I'm gonna use these two different blues. It's like a lighter teal and then a darker blue. I think I'm gonna use the darker blue in the crease and then the lighter blue on my base. So I'll put this bad boy here. Let's see which one I should use. I'm gonna use this one. So I have my mirror right here. So this part's probably gonna just be speeded up. Okay guys, so the eyes are done. I don't know if it looks silly, but from what I'm seeing in the mirror, it looks really nice. So I'm gonna do eyeliner now, but I'm gonna go to the next question. Did it help you in any sort of way? I feel like it did help me in some sort of way when I got diagnosed with both my hypothyroidism and my PCOS, because if I would have just had irregular periods and you know, just the weight gain, it would have made no sense. So it kind of helped me with like a sense of relief in a way, like, oh yes, like, not that I wanted to have something, but you know, there was something to basically answer what was going on with me physically. So that particularly helped me in some sort of way. Trying to think if there was anything else. I feel like it also gave me a better understanding of like, I feel like this is going to go into the next question, so I'm just going to answer the next question. Do you struggle with anything you don't talk about? I do struggle a lot with stuff that I don't talk about. Particularly, I feel like to answer the question, there was a time in my life where I've struggled with like my appearance a lot, with my weight, with my face. When I started having facial hair, I always looked at other girls and I always thought like, what is wrong with me? And I've always had facial hair since a very young girl. And it never made sense to me until I got diagnosed, which in a way did help me also, but it kind of caused me to have like a low-key identity crisis. When I got diagnosed, I definitely was having an identity crisis with myself because I was trying to come to terms with like how I felt about myself. I kind of felt like a lot of stuff, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like a lot of things that was happening felt like a lie within myself. But it did help me a lot. So there was a benefit, and there was like a moment in time where I struggled mentally a lot when it came to coming to terms with what I just got diagnosed with. So I feel like those two questions are good. Another thing I think I struggled with a lot was my mental health. When it came to this condition, there was days that I was silently, you know, having a really bad mental health day. And I'm a person that's always bottled up my emotions. I don't want this to be an emotional video because I'm doing my makeup, so this was the perfect video to do to prevent myself from crying. But like I said, like when I do talk about it, I love bringing awareness, but like just right now, I feel emotional just talking about it. And it's something I want to bring awareness to. It's just like, in a way, you feel like nobody will understand besides the people that are actually going through it. And I felt like that, like, to be honest, like, I felt like that towards my family, like, they didn't understand. Like, obviously they understand, but I felt in my mind that they didn't. And it caused me a lot of, like, oh, nobody's listening to me. And, like, you know, like, when I explained myself, it was, like, when I did try to talk about it, I just felt like nobody could understand because, you know, you have to go through it to know. And, like, my family, they were so understanding, or, like, willing to understand, that it made me feel a sense of relief in a way to actually be able to talk to my sisters, like, women in my life, basically, about it. but I did like silently deal with it on my own for very long, and I still do. Like, there's times my boyfriend like notices that I'm like, there's days where I have like mental tolls about it, and then there's days that I'm like perfectly fine. I think another thing I struggle with is coming to terms that for my future, with this condition, it brings a lot of what ifs, this, and like the unknown with my future of becoming a mom, and also like what I'm going to have to go through like during pregnancy, or like during any trial in my life. Like, I don't know what my future could hold with this condition. It could bring anything, you know, but I always look at it as you know, God puts his toughest soldiers through the hardest battles, and I feel like I've always been one of his toughest soldiers, and I feel like he chose this path for me. And I feel like a lot of, not just God, but I also feel like the universe has plans for me, and I trust in it. So I feel like that also comes to terms with, I have to just trust in myself, trust in my body, trust in the universe, and trust in, you know, what is in store for me. Another thing that I had as a question was, how does my significant other feel about the fertility part and like my condition overall? My boyfriend Matthew is the most selfless, humble person, and he is the best listener. When I had got diagnosed with this, we were together, and we were both 18, and when I had talked to him about it, it was something that I was very scared of, because the first thing I thought of was, oh my God, he's gonna leave me. And at the time, like, we weren't planning on having kids, obviously, but we've always talked about our kids in the future and things like that. So I feel like with Matt, he held my hand through so much with this condition, and like, he was there that day that he was there. Okay, I'm not trying to cry because I just did my makeup. He was there that day when I had found out that I have fertility issues, and that day my mom was supposed to come with me, but I feel like it was meant for both of us, me and Matt, to hear. And you know, he was there to comfort me. As soon as I walked out, I cried my eyes out. And he just grabbed me and just comforted me, and he said, we're gonna go through this together. And we have been planning like what our possibilities of the what ifs. So, you know, I am so glad I have a supportive significant other, thankfully. So that's one thing I wanted to answer, because a lot of women that have PCOS do struggle with having significant other support, or their significant other can't understand, or they just leave them. And then there's the supportive ones that, you know, obviously we have no control of this condition. So, you know, and it doesn't mean you cannot have kids, guys. I'm gonna write that right here, like big words. You can still have kids. It's just gonna be a little more time and a little more effort and a little more doctor's appointments, but it's all gonna be worth it in the end. Oh, guys, this is definitely like a hard video to do, especially like, this is something emotionally that I've always struggled to talk about, but I feel good about talking about it. So it's like, I feel good, but I feel like emotionally like, oh, okay. The last question is, what does PCOS mean to me? And I feel like I kind of answered that in the last answer of the last question, but I feel like PCOS means to me is, I feel like I was chosen for this battle. You know, obviously life throws so much things at you, and I feel like whatever has came my way, I feel like I was meant to go through it. Wow, this mascara is really good. I feel like I was meant to go through this battle, you know, and honestly, like, I'm not mad about it. Like, at first I was so, like, I felt like low-key was my fault, you know, why I got diagnosed with this and things like that, but I had to come to terms mentally that it no longer was my fault. A lot of what I have, like the weight gain, having trouble lose weight, that's another struggle that I go through. And I feel like a lot of what I'm going through, I feel like it was meant to happen. So what does PCOS mean to me particularly? I feel like it's meant to be my battle, and it's meant to be, I feel like I was supposed to have this because of how much I try to bring awareness and I try to talk about it on my YouTube, because a lot of girls just can't talk about it, and which I understand. You know, it's not something to be like, oh, like, you know, want sympathy for, because I don't. That's not what I want. Hold on. I don't want sympathy for it. I just want to bring awareness to it. Guys, this is the most beautiful blue I've ever seen. I love this lip. I feel like I had this color and it was meant for this look. So I was like, let me use this. Oh, shit. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. It's okay, guys. So yeah, I feel like this was definitely my chosen battle. And I feel like, you know, a lot of girls are so much more comfortable about talking about it because other girls are advocating and like talking about it. You know, it's such a normal thing to talk about, but a lot of people just don't know about it. A lot of women do not know about this condition. And sorry guys, I keep pausing. Let me just finish this part because I don't want to mess up my lip. I don't know if I should put gloss. I kind of wanna. This is like really metallic. Ooh. So yeah, I feel like I was really chosen to be the ones who talk about it. And I feel like I have the perfect support from my family, from my significant other. So I feel like PCOS means to me is, you know, this is your story, and you know, you have to accept for what you gotta accept it for what it is, and just teach yourself, you know, your body best. And you know, don't ever feel like because you find out something more and more about it, that means your battle's over, or to give up, to never give up. I feel like this PCOS condition needs to be talked about enough, and I feel like, you know, with my condition, it needs to be something that needs to be talked about. So this is the final look, guys. My hair looks like a mess, but I feel like the lips are giving, but I feel like it's not, so I don't know, but I feel like it's giving, so we're gonna leave it. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial Q&A. about PCOS, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.